A Jizo is basically a Buddhist statue. He's kind of a monk who, instead of seeking enlightenment, decides to stay in our world to help regular people, especially children. One time, I went to a funeral in Japan, and I was listening to the temple's monk explain to the children that after you die in the underworld, you have to cross the Sanzu River. But the ferry boat pilot won't let everyone across. It depends on the kind of life you led. Children especially have a hard time because they are young and haven't done many good deeds. And because they died young, they made their parents sad, which is a sin. But Jizo is a compassionate monk who hides the children under his robes and helps them navigate through the underworld. I was really struck by that explanation and began to notice Jizo statues everywhere in Japan. Usually see them along the sides of roads or near temples. Here are some near my house. Recently, I was out on a long bicycle ride to Tsukuba City and was enjoying the country roads in Naganuma-Moka when I turned the corner and saw something in the middle of this narrow road. It was a well-cared-for Jizo in a small wooden shelter in the middle of a paved road. The Jizo was wearing a kimono and even had a street light behind him. The road was so narrow that I doubted large cars or trucks could pass by the Jizo. I asked around, but my Japanese friends didn't know about the Jizo and had never seen one in the middle of the road before. I went back to the street Jizo and talked to an old woman I met there about the Jizo. She said it had been in the same place as long as she could remember. I asked her if it had a name, and she just said, Jizo-san, Mr. Jizo. She thought of it as a way to make cars slow down to protect pedestrians. Then she remembered something had happened about 20 years ago. A man who lived in nearby Ibaragi Prefecture was driving down the road at night and knocked the Jizo over with his car. The old lady paused and said the man died about a month later. Because he hit the statue by accident, I asked? She said, of course. I found out that this is a kind of ancient curse connected with moving a Jizo or other religious statue. Even now, if construction workers find an old Jizo statue, they will not even consider moving it for fear of bad luck or illness. That is why Jizos stay associated with the same place for hundreds of years. Some say the Naganuma Street Jizo is over 500 years old. Here is an example of a Jizo next to Tokyo Sky Tree Station. They just built the station around the Jizo instead of moving it. You can see the Naganuma Street Jizo on Google Maps Street View. The link is below.